Hi, everyone. My name is Anna, and here today I represent one of the donors of this event, the Human Rights Foundation. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to talk about how HRF can support your amazing projects. And probably you are wondering right now what human rights have to do with mining, heating, and I am here to help you connect the dots. So originally I am from Russia, and for 9 years I've been working as a CFO at the Anti-Corruption Foundation, the leading opposition organization in Russia. And the ACF was founded by the leader of the Russian opposition, Alexei Navalny, the man who was the main enemy and the main threat to Putin's regime. That is why 2 years ago Putin killed Navalny in a Russian prison. The ACF was labeled as a terrorist organization on the territory of Russia, and my name was added to the official list of extremists and terrorists in the country. And now the entire organization is operating in exile. And I joined ACF in 2017 during the presidential campaign when Alexei Navalny decided to run for president of Russia. And we had a huge campaign. We had millions of supporters. We had thousands of donors. We had around 300 employees and 40 offices all across the country. So our network was huge. And I was responsible for all financial operations. I was paying salaries, taxes, all contractors, and every day I was making hundreds and hundreds of payments. And working with the ACF in Russia taught me a very important lesson. Money is not neutral when you fight against the oppressive government. And here one of the examples from my work. I took this screenshot in January 2019 during my regular workday in Moscow. I came to my office, and on that day I had to pay salaries to around 300 people. And I opened our bank account, our online bank, and when I saw this picture, I almost fainted because we had all of our fiat savings on this account. And I opened the bank and I see the balance so ridiculous, so absurd, I couldn't believe my eyes. The balance was negative 1 trillion rubles, which was approximately minus $13 billion at the time. You can see the number was so huge, I didn't even know what the number was. And at first, of course, I thought it was some technical glitch. And eventually, I found out that they simply fabricated a criminal case against our foundation. And on the basis of this case, they just arrested our bank account. So when you fight against oppressive governments, this is what they do to your organization all the time. And this was not just about our organization. This was the message to everyone around us, to our donors. Do not donate to them. We can see you and we will punish you for that. It was the message to our contractors. Don't work with them. We see you. We're going to punish you for that. And actually, it was very hard for us to find anyone willing to work with us. For example, when we were organizing protest rallies and we needed to rent equipment such as microphones, speakers, a stage, no one wanted to rent equipment for us because they didn't want to be paid by us, because everyone in Russia knows that the banking system is fully transparent and fully controlled by the government. And if they receive payments from us, they will be at a huge risk for collaborating with us. And it became a pattern in our work. Here you can see the screenshot with lots of our bank accounts, and all of them have negative balances, because every time when it happened to us, we had to start a new bank account or a new foundation, and we kept operating for a couple of months, but eventually the government figured out that this account belongs to us, and they do it again and again and again. And they blocked bank accounts not only of our legal entities, but also of all of my employees, all of family members of Alexei Navalny's family, and even his children bank accounts were under arrest. So in 2016, we turned to Bitcoin. Already back then, we realized that it was dangerous for us to keep all the money in fiat. And Bitcoin became our financial lifeline and a plan B. Every time we lost access to fiat, we could use Bitcoin to continue operating inside the country. And eventually, we started converting our fiat savings into Bitcoin so we could keep it out of the government's reach. But in 2021, the ACF was labeled an extremist organization. We became completely illegal on the territory of Russia, so we had to leave the country. Now we operate in exile. And you might be thinking that since we left the country, now life became easier for us. But unfortunately, it became even harder, and now we rely on Bitcoin even more than before. Today, around a quarter of our budget is circulating in Bitcoin, because since Russia invaded Ukraine, Russia is now under financial sanctions. The entire country is being completely cut off from the global financial system, which means it's not physically possible to send a bank wire transfer from abroad into the country. And who would want to receive money from so-called terrorist organization? No one would want to do it anyway in an open manner. So we have to use Bitcoin to send money to Russia, because we still have thousands of political prisoners in the country, and we support them, we support their family members, we support activists who keep fighting against the regime inside the country, and we cover their lawyers' fees because they get arrested, they have lawyers, and we still pay for them. And I support my family, and so I use Bitcoin to send money into Russia. And I even had to pay for Alexei Navalny's funeral in Moscow with Bitcoin, because there was no other way to send money to the country. And we are a non-profit organization, so we still rely on donations, and we still have millions of supporters in Russia. So we collect donations from Russian supporters in Bitcoin. Because not only because of the sanctions, but also for donating to so-called terrorist organization, a Russian citizen will face up to 15 years of imprisonment. So it's very dangerous, and we have to be very careful when we collect donations. So here you can see that we encourage people to donate Bitcoin to us. And unfortunately, the story of ACF is not unique. Not only in Russia, today around 72% of the global population live under some form of authoritarian rule. And here on this picture, in this picture, you can see the countries of red and orange colors, the countries with authoritarian and hybrid regimes. And you are very lucky to be in the blue zone. And dictators all around the globe use the same playbook. They weaponize money. If they cannot silence your voice, they just shut down your bank accounts, they punish your donors, they surveil your transactions. So they do it not only in Russia, they do it everywhere in the world. And 4 years ago, I found out that there is an amazing organization that is called Human Rights Foundation that empowers activists with financial freedom technologies. And 2 years ago, I decided to join HRF, where now I lead Bitcoin education for activists, all kinds of freedom fighters in exile and in the front lines. And my education is built all around privacy, because I personally know how dangerous it could be when you use KYC tools, when you use custodial tools. And I teach my students privacy-focused Bitcoin how to use Bitcoin in a privacy-focused manner. And now I collect all kinds of tools that are non-KYC, because in some countries there is no way to use Bitcoin like you can do here. Here you can just use Cash App or Reware or whatever else. In many countries there are no platforms like that. Those platforms will not even onboard people like me because I have a Russian passport. In some countries, the only way to buy Bitcoin is with P2P, with cash. So it could be very hard in some environments. And my students quite often come to me and ask me, how can I buy Bitcoin anonymously? How can I do it privately? Because I'm afraid for my life. I'm at high risk. And a couple of months ago, I heard an amazing talk at the Global Bitcoin Summit. I learned from Tyler Stevens' talk about decentralized mining, and I realized that that could be one of the ways of acquisition Bitcoin in a private way, because I think that's this kind of project could be supported by the Human Rights Foundation, because I, as an activist myself and as a Bitcoin educator, I can add this kind of tool into my list of surviving tools. So from this talk, I learned that it could be used not only as a non-KYC sats, but also as a heating tool in our buildings. And we, as a nonprofit organizations, we have offices, but we don't make much money. We survive on donations usually. And for people like me, it could be an amazing opportunity, not only to hit the offices for us, but also to get Bitcoin in a self-custodial manner, in a non-KYC way. And the Human Rights Foundation supports projects like that, supports projects that empower activists with tools, with platforms that are safer to use for freedom fighters. At HRF, we have a Bitcoin Development Fund, and Bitcoin Development Fund supports individuals and projects that make Bitcoin safer to use for freedom fighters. And we already, in the last 5 years, we provided around 300 Bitcoin grants for a total amount of around $8.5 million. And by the way, those who already received Bitcoin grants from HRF or applied for it, can you please raise your hand? So, thank you. So yeah, HRF provides Bitcoin grants not only to freedom fighters like me, but also to builders, to developers, those who make Bitcoin a powerful tool for people like me. So if you work on hash rate heating or anything that makes Bitcoin more resilient, if you build systems that are harder to censor, you are not just doing some business. You are expanding the space where civil society can actually breathe. So I would like to, first of all, I would like to encourage you to explore our webpage, go to website hrf.org and learn what we do and how we support builders like you. Apply for Bitcoin grants from the Human Rights Foundation if you believe that your tools, your technologies could support freedom fighters. Also, you can check the webpage of Bitcoin Education and enroll into my upcoming webinar where I teach activists, I teach how to use Bitcoin from scratch for beginners, so you can join, bring your families, bring your colleagues. Subscribe to our Financial Freedom Report to receive weekly newsletters where you can learn more stories about people like me, about how oppressive countries abuse traditional financial systems everywhere in the world, and where there you can learn also how freedom fighters like me use financial freedom technologies to fight against the global evil. So I'm here to answer all of your questions today. If you would like to apply for a grant, talk to me, talk to my colleague Harrison. Harrison, please raise your hand there so everyone can see you. Talk to us, because if you build for Bitcoin, if you use Bitcoin, you are already a part of the global resistance movement, whether you want it or not, but you are already an activist. So we are in the same boat with you. So we will be happy to support you. Please support us with your amazing projects, and we are happy to talk to you today here. Thank you so much.